technical with this one, but the incubation that I was talking about in producing wild birds for the wild, um, I've ran like incubators like unbelievable, hundreds of them, eggs in trays, and my basement was like humming and did quite well. And I raised mandarins and wood ducks and done some certain things, but I discovered one issue that is extremely important. Um, in all these commercial incubators, I don't care how perfect they will be, I don't care where you bought the damn thing from, I do recommend a couple of that are very extremely decent, that are right up in the alley, and especially they will hatch a swan egg right out of the wild, and that one I was very impressed with that. uh, but get down to small details with like pheasants and the things you want back into the wild. Uh, Natural incubation. You gotta get with that. When you gather your eggs, the crosses I explained before, they're not going to be 100% hatch in your incubator starting from day one. You've got to get past your first at least 14 days under some sort of a natural process. And the best way you can do that is surprisingly unusual, but there's a book out there doing that with parrots and things like that and very endangered species, is under a common ordinary chicken banner. Why? I don't know. I am just fucking floored, but it does work. Hey, if it works, don't fix it, right? And specifically, since I'm on the subject of pheasants, and we're not going into other birds right at the moment, and they will crank out the eggs, and that's exactly what you want, but you want that 100%. You're close to it, especially when you're doing this genetic selection and breeding. Gather your eggs, 10 hens, 10 eggs per hen. Set them out as long as you've got all of your hens in the broody state. Let them go for 10 days. Pull all them eggs, go to your incubators and finish them up for the rest, 13 days or whatever it takes to get up to 24, 23. While you pull those eggs, you set another set with them, and then you got your another set. You got every 10. And you are getting the natural incubation that is required by this bringing in the wild genes into your captive bred stock, and when you pull out your trays and all these chicks are hatched, then you go through your marking areas, to make sure that you know. Well, when you got your eggs underneath each hen, they tend to do whatever they do. We don't know what it all is, but when you pull those eggs and you're doing it on that day, make sure you make a mark on that egg and put it in the proper tray, so when they do hatch, you can mark them like I did before. I dip them in dye: yellow, green, red, blue, and they dry off. And then once they get to the older stage, you can just pull back their wings, and you can see that same coloring in there, and give them their wing band. And then when they are 6 weeks, you proceed to the next level. And when they're out there, and when they become adults, you can look at their little shoulder pad and say, hey, you're from this guy, and you're from that one, and you know exactly the genetic makeup of that particular bird. It's the key. Yes, it's selective breeding, but I'm trying to select towards the wild. But you can't select towards the wild because you are breeding things in captivity. But if you get that hatch up higher and it's not dropping off, that means under the natural incubation thing, you are getting a better control on still having some idea of, well, that one hatched. It wouldn't have hatched otherwise, but it did hatch because I did it under natural conditions, and it's still that little bit of a tiny edge towards back to the wild. You see? Everything is important. Under commercial conditions, forget about it. It's not going to happen. But these little things. That's all we got. If the population goes out in the wild, the only source we have, we can't bring in anything anymore. But this is a little bit of a way to preserve a little bit of that DNA that bird survives. And it's bred into it. You can't see it, you can't tell it, but it's there. Okay. Anyways, so much am I so crazy. But next video. Okay. I have a lot. I mean, I'm just getting started. I feel really refreshed, actually. Thank you, guys. I feel encouraged, and I'm going to give you so much more if I can. It's just I want somebody else out there to understand, and I want that person to be able to perceive what I perceive. Yes, you know what it is. Genetics. Laters.